Discover the newest and simplest fix for a weak rotator cuff and solve your shoulder pain, with the added benefit of achieving better posture and saying goodbye to laptop shoulders. I'm Martina Hauptman, physical therapist, Pilates instructor, and founder of Hooked on Pilates. Please note, this video is not meant to diagnose your shoulder pain, but to increase your awareness of issues contributing to your discomfort. If the advice and exercise shared cause any pain or discomfort, cease the exercise and seek medical advice. Now that we got that legal disclaimer out of the way, are you curious how to win at looking and feeling fabulous? Keep watching and learn a simple tweak to a common shoulder exercise, which will have your arms hanging freely, more relaxed, and with a more open posture, which is ready to move. If you have poor posture and or shoulder pain, the rotator cuff muscles are not working well and are a source of your pain. Frustrated with pain when you reach overhead, you may have impingement or arthritis in the shoulder. Concerned that you cannot sleep on your side and sharp shoulder pain came on suddenly, you may have an irritated bursa, a fluid-filled sac in your shoulder joint. Discouraged with achy or sharp pain while using your arm, one of the many tendons in the shoulder joint may be inflamed, tendinitis. Scared of surgery because you had an MRI positive for a tear of the rotator cuff or labrum? The good news is the first course of treatment of all of these shoulder issues is physical therapy and exercise. And that is because muscles move bones and posture and alignment matter. You have control of both. Our modern day gadgets are bringing on this rounded forward high-tech posture, making our neck and shoulders hurt. And surprising us when we look at pictures from our vacation and see how rounded our posture has become. Laptop shoulders. You probably never heard of that term before, and I hadn't either. But my friend Julie said I fixed her laptop shoulders with a simple exercise that you are going to learn at the end of this video. Please give me a little more time to explain how the rotator cuff and posture are at the root of your issues. How do you know if you've got them? You've got laptop shoulders if your head leads the way, meaning your head is out in front of your body, out of alignment. Forward head posture causes your neck and upper back to feel tight because these muscles are working hard all day long, pulling your head back to where it should be. With your head out in front, your upper back begins to round, causing your shoulders to creep forward and, you guessed it, to round forward also. All of this rounding and stoop forward posture tightens the chest muscles, restricting shoulder movements. When the shoulders are forward and rounded, the muscles on your shoulder blade, your rotator cuff, are stretched all day long. Over time, the chronically stretched rotator cuff muscles weaken. So there you have it, the link of how poor posture affects your shoulder pain by weakening the rotator cuff, because the rotator cuff muscles are under constant daily stretch. Let's talk about the rotator cuff. There are 4 muscles that make up the rotator cuff, and all 4 of them are on the shoulder blade. At the top of the shoulder blade is the supraspinatus, which is underlined in green to help you see where it is located. The supraspinatus is the muscle that usually tears when there is a torn rotator cuff. Directly underneath the supraspinatus is the infraspinatus, underlined with red. If you get a massage, you may be surprised at how tender the back of your shoulder blade is, because trigger points often develop in this muscle because it is chronically stretched all day long in that high-tech or laptop shoulders posture. This prolonged stretching also weakens the infraspinatus. The next muscle is a small one, just under the infraspinatus, the teres minor, underlined in light blue. The teres minor acts like an assistant to the infraspinatus, helping to turn the arm out, and it too can develop painful trigger points because of being stretched too far forward and for too long. Finally, the subscapularis, which you can't see on this slide because it is on the front of the shoulder blade, facing the rib cage. It is the only muscle of the rotator cuff to internally rotate the shoulder joint. Strengthening the rotator cuff will decrease shoulder pain and improve posture. But how do you exercise it? If you look on the internet for exercises to strengthen the rotator cuff, you will often see videos where people are exercising their rotator cuff by rotating their bent arm away from their torso. 99% of the time, you will see the exercise being done with a handle. Breaking news! Using a loop versus a handle is amazingly better for the rotator cuff muscles. This is because using a loop allows the palm of the hand to face up. Could this seemingly small change at your hand have such a big effect on how your shoulder functions? Yes. Student research at Denver University found that the infraspinatus, the chief external rotator of the rotator cuff, was most active by EMG study, with the palm of the hand being turned up. Why? Biceps. Not pumped up biceps, but anatomically smart biceps. You probably know that the biceps bends the elbow and also lifts the arm up. But importantly, for this tweak of the rotator cuff, the biceps also supinates the forearm. Supinate? Supination happens when the palm faces up. This is the position of the arm that the physiology students at DU discovered made the rotator cuff, especially the infraspinatus and teres minor, work better, and why choosing to use a loop is better than a handle when targeting the rotator cuff for strengthening. Pronation of the forearm occurs when the palm faces down, like when you dribble a basketball or when you're typing or writing. The mid-range between pronation and supination is what I call car neutral. It's just not going anywhere. This is the position of the forearm when a handle is used for that rotator cuff exercise. Using a handle is not going to do you harm, but the rotator cuff exercise will not be as effective as doing the same motion with the palm up. This means that biceps and the rotator cuff are part of the same team, Team Shoulder Health. Feeling is believing. Finally, introducing you to the simplest rotator cuff exercise that you can do anywhere and anytime, which is guaranteed to open your posture, activate your rotator cuff, and rid yourself of laptop shoulders. In this video, she is standing, but you can do this exercise seated, so maybe at your desk. Her elbows are bent, close to the sides of her body. Palms are up, and forearms are parallel to the floor. Let's watch the video. So notice she pauses in the out position to feel the exercise, and when she returns, she alternates which hand is on top. Now for some tips. It is very important not to squeeze your arms into your sides. Squeezing your arms into your sides will activate your chest muscles and make your posture worse. Let's watch that video again. And I'm going to have to go back. Let's watch it. So, less is more. Focus on just rotating. Don't let the elbows drift behind the body. More connection of the rotator cuff and less range of motion. You can do this exercise with a resistance band. You just need to make sure that you grab onto the band with palms up You can also use the elastic strap of the handy band, but again, palms need to be up. All right. So can you see how powerful this simple exercise is to optimize posture? Notice her hands in the far left picture. This is how she stands naturally. And this is before we did any exercises. See how many knuckles of her hand you can see, especially on her left, and how closely she holds her arms to her body. The middle picture is of my coworker. Yes, even Pilates instructors have posture and shoulder issues. After doing just 10 repetitions of the no more laptop shoulder exercise without resistance. See how her arms hang more freely from her body, and you can see more of the fronts of her arms. The third picture, the one all the way to the right, is after 10 repetitions of the no more laptop shoulder exercise with a resistance band. Her arms hang even more relaxed and free from her body. You now hardly see any of the knuckles of her hands, and you see even more of the front of her biceps and arms. Now you can take this concept into doing rotator cuff exercises anywhere, in the Pilates studio, in the gym, even when there are no loops available. Here I'm using a handle, but positioning my palm up in supination as I do the external rotation rotator cuff exercise. Sometimes you just have to make do with what is available. Or at home, using the Hooked on Pilates handy bands is a great option because the handy bands are adjustable and are easily attached anywhere in a door jamb. Here, the handle end of the handy band is closed inside the door jamb above the doorknob to be in line with his palm, which is positioned in the loop. That's why the handy bands are so fantastic, because sometimes you need a loop and sometimes you need a handle when exercising. And everything, loops, handles, door anchors, are integrated into their patented design to make the handy bands your grab-and-go resistance band. Please note, he has a towel roll high in his arm, not to squeeze, but for him to think of the towel roll like it is a raw egg, keeping the arm close to the body, but not squeezing his body. Excited to optimize your fitness? Purchase the brand new Corrective Exercises for the Shoulder book that I wrote from my years of experience as a physical therapist, Pilates instructor, and a massage therapist. The book is 26 pages of smart tips and exercises to attain balance, strength, and flexibility at your shoulder so you can claim victory over your pain. You will discover some new takes on familiar stretches and some brand new ones. You will be amazed at how effective the tweaks to shoulder exercises are. And I'm so excited for you to experience the instant changes in posture and ease of shoulder movement with the Zoa bicep curl, which I invented. These are 3 of my clients before and after doing 10 repetitions of this amazing exercise, which you will only discover how to do in this book. To bring it all together, there are suggestions for beginner to advanced workouts for you to do, and even a warm-up and cool-down for athletes. The Corrective Exercises for the Shoulder book is truly for everyone, because if your posture and alignment is optimal, you move better. Period. If you already own the orange handy bands, purchase an ebook for $15, or if you prefer a printed copy, that option is $30. Usually the handy bands are sold as a set, but if you are interested in just shoulder exercises, you may purchase one orange handy band for $35. Shipping and taxes will be applied to the order. Please sign up for the email list because you'll find out when new webinars have posted. announcement of in-person workshops, and lets you know when new targeted workouts are up on Hooked on Pilates YouTube channel. Keep your eyes peeled for new product releases. Thank you so much for your time. If you find this information helpful, please refer friends and family to hookedonpilates.com. Making bodies move better with smart moves. Hooked on Pilates.